Caitlin Clark isn't just a name on a roster. She's a full-blown phenomenon, a force of nature tearing through the WNBA like a Midwest tornado. Imagine a 22-year-old rookie stepping onto the pro scene and instantly turning heads, not just of fans, but of grizzled veterans, skeptical analysts, and a league that's been waiting for a spark. From her jaw-dropping college career at Iowa to her seismic rookie season with the Indiana Fever, Clark has become more than a player. She's a cultural earthquake. Her story isn't just about basketball. It's about transformation, controversy, and a relentless drive that's rewriting what we thought was possible in women's sports. Let's set the scene. Before Clark, the WNBA was a league of steady growth, a slow burn of talent and tenacity. Then she arrived, a sharpshooting, trash-talking, record-breaking whirlwind who didn't just join the party. She flipped the table and started a new one. In her first season, she didn't just play, she demanded attention, packing arenas with screaming fans, spiking TV ratings to levels the league hadn't seen in decades, and forcing everyone to rethink what a rookie could do. But it's not all glitz and glory. Oh no, this tale's got twists. There's the jaw-dropping salary debate that set the internet ablaze, a so-called rivalry with Angel Reese that's more hype than hate, and wild rumors about her next move that keep fans buzzing. How does a lean kid from Des Moines morph into a physical beast who's got the pros shook? And why are people losing their minds over her paycheck? We're about to unpack it all, layer by layer, in a story so wild it feels like a Hollywood script, except it's real, and it's happening right now. Picture this. Clark's not content with being good, she's obsessed with being great. In college, she was a supernova, lighting up scoreboards and turning Iowa into must-see TV. But the WNBA? That's a different beast, a brutal, physical gauntlet where finesse alone gets you eaten alive. Early on, she felt the sting, defenders swarming her like a pack of wolves, turnovers piling up, critics sharpening their knives. Too soft, they sneered. Too green. But Clark doesn't back down, she doubles down. She hit the gym with a vengeance, sculpting her body into a weapon and came back swinging, not just surviving but thriving. Now she's not just splashing threes from the parking lot, she's powering through traffic, finishing with authority, and leaving defenders grasping at air. And that's just the opening act. Off the court, the drama's just as thick. Her rookie contract, $338, $0.56 over 4 years, dropped like a bombshell, sparking outrage from fans and players alike. That's all she's getting? Roared Twitter, with memes and rants flying faster than her jumpers. Then there's the Angel Reese saga, a media-fueled feud that traces back to a taunting moment in the 2023 NCAA title game, except Clark says it's all noise, not beef. And don't sleep on the rumors. Whispers of her bolting to Europe for $1 million payday, or even launching her own league. She squashed it with a single post. Year 1 was a dream. See you in year 2-inch. But the speculation still simmers. This isn't just a basketball story. It's a saga of ambition, grit, and a young woman who's got the world watching her every move. So, how did Caitlin Clark go from college darling to pro game changer in mere months? And what's next for a star who's already outrunning the hype? Let's dive in. This ride's about to get wild. Before Caitlin Clark was a household name in the WNBA, she was a legend in the making at the University of Iowa, a sharpshooting, playmaking prodigy who turned a mid-tier program into a national obsession. Let's rewind to 2020, when a lanky freshman from West Des Moines stepped onto the Carver Hawkeye Arena floor and proceeded to rewrite the record books. Over 4 years, Clark didn't just play basketball, she performed miracles. She racked up 3,951 career points, annihilating the Big Ten's all-time scoring record, male or female, and leaving icons like Pete Maravich in her dust when she surpassed his NCAA mark. But it wasn't just the numbers that made her special, it was the how. Picture this. Clark pulling up from 35 feet like it's a layup, the ball arcing through the air with a swish so pure it's like music. Or her whipping a no-look pass through a triple team, hitting a teammate in stride for an easy bucket. She was a one-woman highlight reel, and she made it look effortless. Her stats were video game ridiculous. Senior year alone, She averaged 31.6 points, 8.9 assists, and 7.4 rebounds, numbers that sound made up until you watch the tape. She led Iowa to back-to-back Final Four runs in 2023 and 2024, dragging a team that hadn't been to the national semis since 1993 into the spotlight. Her signature move? The Logo 3, a deep, audacious shot that became her calling card. Against LSU in the 2023 Elite Eight, she sank 6 triples, 4 from beyond 30 feet, finishing with 41 points in a win that sent Iowa to the Final Four. "I've never seen anything like it," said LSU coach Kim Mulkey, shaking her head. "She's shooting over us like we're not even there." Defenses tried everything: box-and-ones, double teams, even face-guarding her at half-court. Nothing worked. Clark's court vision was uncanny. She'd spot a cutter before the defense even blinked, and her ball handling was so slick she could dribble out of a phone booth. But it wasn't just her game that turned heads. It was her vibe. Clark brought swagger to Iowa City, a cocky grin, a quick quip, a fearless attitude that screamed, "Try me." She trash-talked with the best of them, once yelling, "You're not stopping me," at a stunned Michigan State bench after burying a dagger 3. Fans ate it up. Carver Hawkeyes sold out every game her final 2 seasons, with ticket prices soaring from $15 to over $100 on the resale market. Iowa became a roadshow. 2. Opposing arenas packed with kids in number 22 jerseys, chanting her name. TV ratings skyrocketed. The 2024 NCAA title game against South Carolina drew 18.7 million viewers, the most-watched women's basketball game ever. "Caitlin's a rock star," said ESPN's Holly Rowe. "She's not just playing, she's performing." Her impact went beyond stats and highlights. Clark turned Iowa into a cultural juggernaut, a team that transcended sports. She was the darling of March Madness, a household name who got casual fans to care about women's hoops. Analysts threw around comparisons: Steph Curry for her range, Pistol Pete for her scoring, Magic Johnson for her passing, but Clark was her own beast. "She's a unicorn," said Nancy Lieberman. "You don't coach that. You just let it loose." By the time she declared for the 2024 WNBA draft, the question wasn't if she'd succeed in the pros. It was how loudly she'd announce her arrival. The stage was set, the hype was astronomical, and the basketball world was holding its breath. Could this Midwest marvel conquer the toughest league on the planet? Spoiler: she wasn't just ready, she was built for it. When the Indiana Fever selected Caitlin Clark as the #1 pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the excitement was electric. Picture this: a draft night in Brooklyn, cameras flashing, fans chanting her name as she strode across the stage in a Prada outfit that screamed star power. Fever fans flooded social media with celebration posts. "Our savior's here," one tweeted, and jerseys sold out online before the clock struck midnight. Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the Fever's home, buzzed with anticipation for her debut, with season ticket sales jumping 250% overnight. The WNBA knew it had struck gold. Here was a player who didn't just bring talent, but a tidal wave of hype, a rookie poised to lift a franchise that hadn't sniffed the playoffs since 2016. But hype doesn't win games, and the WNBA isn't a league that hands out participation trophies. Clark's first taste of pro ball came May 14, 2024, against the Connecticut Sun, a team stacked with bruisers like Alyssa Thomas and Dawana Bonner. She dropped 20 points, including 4 threes, flashing that college magic, but the Fever got crushed 92-71. Thomas hounded her full court, Bonner bodied her in the paint, and Clark coughed up 10 turnovers, a rookie record. "It was brutal," she said post-game, wiping sweat from her brow. "These women don't mess around." Welcome to the WNBA, where finesse meets ferocity, and Clark was suddenly a gazelle in a lion's den. The next few games weren't much kinder. Against the New York Liberty, Jonquil Jones swatted her shots like flies. Versus the Seattle Storm, Jewel Lloyd danced around her for easy buckets. In her first 5 games, Clark shot a shaky 37% from the field and averaged 5.4 turnovers. Ugly numbers for a player pegged as the next big thing. The critics pounced like sharks smelling blood. "She's not ready," barked one ESPN analyst, arms crossed on air. Too frail, too slow for this level. Social media lit up with doubters. All hype, no substance. One user sniped. College star, pro bust. The narrative took hold. Maybe Clark couldn't handle the leap. The physicality was relentless. Guards pressed her 94 feet, forwards bumped her off her spots, and every dribble felt like a wrestling match. In a June clash with the Las Vegas Aces, Aya Wilson blocked her twice in one possession, smirking as Clark picked herself off the floor. "It's a wake-up call," Clark admitted later. "I've never felt defenders this strong, this fast." But here's where the story shifts. Clark didn't wilt under the pressure, she studied it. She pored over film, dissecting her turnovers, pinpointing where she got bodied. "I knew I had to adapt," she told reporters, her voice steely. "This league doesn't wait for you." Behind closed doors, she was already plotting her revenge, hitting the gym with a focus that stunned her coaches. The doubters thought they'd seen her ceiling. They had no idea she was just warming up. The WNBA had thrown its best punch, and Clark was about to swing back, hard. Caitlin Clark didn't just tweak her game to survive the WNBA, she rebuilt herself from the ground up, turning her body into a machine designed to dominate. After those early beatdowns, she knew the truth. Her college frame, lean, wiry, built for open court wizardry, wouldn't cut it against the league's giants. So she got to work, diving into a training regimen so intense it'd make most pros flinch. Picture this. Clark at 6 a.m. in an Indianapolis gym, sweat dripping, pushing a 200-pound sled across the floor, her legs churning like pistons. Or flipping massive tires, her arms trembling but unrelenting, as trainers barked encouragement. "She's a beast," said Keith Williams, her strength coach. "Most players ease into the offseason. Caitlin? She's in here breaking herself down to build something stronger." The transformation was meticulous. Clark zeroed in on every weakness the WNBA exposed. Core strength? She crushed planks and medicine ball twists until she could take a shoulder check without budging. Lower body? Squats, lunges, and box jumps turned her legs into springs, ready to explode past defenders. Upper body? Bench presses and pull-ups bulked up her arms and shoulders, letting her hold her ground against players 20 pounds heavier. "It's not just about size," Williams explained. "It's about power, balance, durability." She even tweaked her diet, more protein, more carbs, more calories, to pack on muscle without losing her quickness. By July, she'd added 10 pounds of lean mass, her frame now chiseled, her movements sharper. The proof hit the court like a thunderclap. In a mid-season practice clip that went viral, Clark took a handoff, barreled through a double team, absorbing a hip check from Aaliyah Boston, and still sank a fading jumper. "That's not the same Caitlin," tweeted NBA star Damian Lillard, eyes wide. Fans noticed too. Her drives had new force, her post-ups had bite. Against the Chicago sky, she backed down DeMar DeRozan's cousin, Diamond DeShields, and finished with a hook shot that drew gasps. "She's stronger than she looks," DeShields grumbled post-game. "You feel it now." Clark herself felt the shift. "I used to shy away from contact," she told The Athletic. "Now I'm the one dishing it out. It's a game changer." Her teammates saw the grind up close. "She's relentless," said Fever guard Kelsey Mitchell. "After a game, we're all icing our knees, and she's in the weight room lifting." Who does that? The numbers backed it up. Her drives to the basket doubled from May to August. Her finishing percentage at the rim jumped from 44% to 58%, and her turnovers dropped as she learned to power through traps. In a late-season win over the Dallas Wings, she took a hard screen from Natasha Howard, stayed upright, and drilled a pull-up three, then stared down the bench. "That's new Caitlin," said announcer Debbie Antonelli. "She's not just surviving, she's thriving." The doubters who called her frail? They're silent now, watching a rookie who turned punishment into power. With her rebuilt body, Caitlin Clark's offense didn't just evolve. It erupted, becoming a spectacle of skill and strength that left the WNBA reeling. She was already a sharpshooter. Those logo threes still fell like rain. each one a dagger to the heart of defenses, but now she added a bulldozer's aggression to her arsenal. Take a July 10th game against the New York Liberty. Clark caught the ball at the arc, shook Breanna Stewart with a hesitation, then drove baseline, shrugging off Jonquil Jones like a fly to finish with a reverse layup. The crowd erupted. Stewart shook her head. "She's a problem now," Liberty coach Sandy Brondello said, exasperated. "You can't guard her one-on-one. She's too strong, too quick." Her stats tell the tale. Clark finished her rookie year averaging 19.2 points and 8.4 assists, numbers unheard of for a first-year guard. She smashed the WNBA single-season assist record with 337, her passes zipping through defenses like heat-seeking missiles. Watch a Fever fast break. She'd fire a one-handed bounce past 40 feet, hitting Alyssa Smith for a layup before the defense could blink. "Her vision's unreal," said Smith. "It's like she's got eyes in the back of her head." But it was her scoring that turned heads. She dropped 49% of her threes, many from NBA range, and her mid-range game, floaters, pull-ups, became unguardable. In an August thriller against the Sparks, she scored 28, including a game winner from 28 feet with 0.8 seconds left. "Ice water in her veins," LeBron James tweeted, echoing the awe. The highlights piled up. Against the Aces, she hit a 35-footer over Kelsey Plum that had announcer Ryan Ruocco yelling, "Are you kidding me?" Versus the Mystics, she Euro-stepped through two defenders for an and-one, flexing as the crowd chanted her name. Defenses scrambled, traps at half-court, switches on every screen, even triple teams. Nothing stuck. "She's breaking us," said Storm coach Noelle Quinn after Clark torched them for 31. "You think you've got her, and she's already gone." Her biggest feat? Leading the Fever to the playoffs, ending an 8-year drought. In the clinching game against the Lynx, she dropped 25 points and 8 assists, sealing it with a step-back three that sent Gainbridge into a frenzy. "She's our engine," said coach Christy Sides. "She wills us to win." Clark's offense wasn't just firepower, it was a revolution, blending finesse with force in a way the league couldn't contain. If Clark's offense was her calling card, her defense was the surprise plot twist, a transformation that turned a perceived weakness into a weapon. In college, she was decent on D, scrappy, smart, but not a lockdown artist. Opponents targeted her, especially speedy guards who'd blow by her or vets who'd outmuscle her. Early in her WNBA run, that trend held. Take her first clash with Diana Taurasi on June 1st. The Mercury legend roasted her for 25 points, hitting stepbacks and floaters while Clark flailed. "Welcome to the league, kid," Taurasi quipped, smirking as she walked off. Social media piled on. "She's a liability on D," one fan posted. "Great shooter, awful defender." But Clark didn't sulk, she studied. She hit the film room like a detective, breaking down every blown assignment, every time she got beat. "I hated feeling exposed," she told ESPN. "Defense is pride. You don't let people punk you." With her new strength and coaching from Fever staff, she reworked her game. Footwork drills sharpened her lateral quickness. Weight training gave her the muscle to fight screens. Hours of tape taught her to anticipate moves. By mid-season, the shift was glaring. In a rematch with Taurasi on July 12th, Clark turned the tables, holding her to 12 points on 4 of 15 shooting, deflecting passes, and forcing turnovers. "She's different now," Taurasi admitted, nodding respect. "Tougher, smarter." The stats backed it up. Her steals climbed from 1.2 to 1.8 per game, her defensive rating improved by 10 points, and she started racking up deflections, 3.1 per game, 5th in the league. Watch her against the Sky's Chindi Carter, a lightning-quick guard who torched her early on. Clark stayed step for step, swatting a layup attempt into the third row. "She's a wall now," Carter said, shaking her head. Or against the Sun, where she stonewalled Dewana Bonner on a switch, forcing a miss as the shot clock expired. "I love the challenge," Clark grinned post-game. "Defense is where you prove yourself." She even added swagger, yelling "not today" after a stop, clapping in opponents' faces. The doubters who mocked her D? Their mum now, watching a rookie who turned a flaw into a flex. While Clark was rewriting her game on the court, the off-court saga was a soap opera begging for a Netflix series. First up, the salary bombshell. When her rookie contract, $338, $056 over 4 years, leaked, the internet exploded. "That's it," screamed a viral tweet with 50,000 likes. "She's worth millions." Fans flooded X with outrage, posting memes of Clark counting pennies while raking in buckets. "Disgraceful," fumed Kevin Durant online. "She's carrying this league." The debate raged. Talk shows dissected the WNBA's pay scale, podcasts argued over revenue splits, and fans launched #PayCaitlin campaigns. "It's systemic," said analyst Jamal Hill. "Women's sports still fight for crumbs." Clark stayed cool. "I'm here to play, not count checks," but the uproar amplified her spotlight. Then there's the Angel-Reese rivalry, a storyline the media couldn't resist. It started in the 2023 NCAA title game. LSU's Reese taunted Clark with a "you can't see me" wave as the Tigers clinched the win. Cameras caught it, and the narrative was born. Two stars destined to feud. Fast forward to 2024. Reese with a sky, Clark with a fever, and their first pro matchup on June 1st drew 2.1 million viewers, the WNBA's biggest audience in 11 years. Every bounce, every bucket fueled the hype. "It's Ollie versus Frazier," one headline blared. But here's the kicker. There's no venom. "It's all love," Clark told ESPN. The media made it a thing. Reese agreed. "We're cool, it's competition." Still, their games crackled. Reese blocking Clark, Clark draining a three in her face, and fans lapped it up, trending #Clark versus Reese after every clash. The drama didn't stop there. Rumors swirled like wildfire. Was Clark eyeing Europe, where stars like Breanna Stewart pull $1 million salaries? "She's too big for the WNBA," one insider whispered to Yahoo Sports. Others spun wilder tales. She'd start her own league, backed by billionaire investors, or join the Big Three with Ice Cube. The buzz peaked when she posted "big moves coming" on Instagram, sending fans into a frenzy. "She's out," one panicked. "Europe bound," another cried. Clark shut it down fast. "Year 1 was a dream. See you in year 2, she wrote, grinning in a fevered jersey. Still, the whispers linger, because with Clark, the impossible feels plausible, and the chaos keeps building. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's a seismic shift, a one-woman revolution dragging the WNBA into a new era. The numbers don't lie. Since her debut, league viewership has soared 170%, with games averaging 1.2 million watchers, triple the 400,000 of 2022. Her fever games? Try 2.5 million on peak nights, like a September win over the Aces that crashed ESPN servers. Google searches for WNBA spiked 861% over 5 years, with Caitlin Clark topping the list. Her number 22 jersey sold out in 48 hours, forcing Nike to rush production. Sales tripled the Fever's 2023 totals. Arenas went from half-empty to overflowing. A July game in Brooklyn saw Liberty tickets hit $500 on resale, a WNBA first. "It's Caitlin Mania," said Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. "She's a magnet." The cash followed the crowd. The WNBA's new ESPN deal reportedly quadrupled to $200 million a year, fueled by Clark's pull. Brands swarmed her: Nike, Gatorade, State Farm, pushing her endorsement haul past $3 million, a rookie record. League-wide, attendance jumped 30%, merchandise sales doubled, and expansion talks heated up. 2 new teams by 2026, insiders say. "She's an economic engine," said analyst Christine Brennan. The WNBA's riding her wave. Look at the Fever, from a 5-31 disaster in 2022 to playoff contenders in 2024, with local businesses, bars, hotels, booming on game nights. "She's our golden goose," said an indie bar owner, grinning as fans packed his place. Beyond the Bucks, Clark's reshaping the game's soul. Her style, deep threes, flashy passes, fearless drives, has kids mimicking her in driveways. "I want her shot," said a 10-year-old at a Fever camp, launching from 25 feet. "Vets feel it too," "She's raising the bar," said Aya Wilson. "We're all adapting." Clark's vision is grand. "I want full houses every night," she told reporters. "More teams, more stars, more everything." She's not just a spark, she's a torch, lighting up a future where the WNBA isn't a niche, but a juggernaut. And she's just getting started. So, what's Caitlin Clark's ceiling? In 1 year, she's morphed from college icon to WNBA titan, blending skill, grit, and charisma into a force that's redefined the game. She's smashed records, flipped doubters into believers, and sparked debates that echo beyond the court. Salary fights, rivalries, rumors. She's handled it all with a shrug and a swish. But here's the kicker. Is she the WNBA's future, or is the league sprinting to catch her? Ponder that. Clark's not just playing basketball, she's rewriting its story, and the ink's still wet. Loved this epic dive into Clark's world? Smash that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more WNBA tales. Trust me, this is just the beginning, and with Clark, the sky's not even the limit.